All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to day 2 of the nutrition refresh. How was yesterday? How did your assessment go? Did you guys learn anything new about yourself? Were there any surprises? If so, I would love to know about them. If you want to go on the Facebook group, find the video from yesterday and comment under it. Let me know what surprised you about your assessment. I am super curious, so that would be great to know. Today, homework is pretty simple. You're just going to pick 3 things from your assessment that you want to drill down on and focus on for the purposes of this program. So for me, when I did this, a couple things kind of naturally rose to the top, just kind of looking at what the lower scores were and looking at patterns. So hopefully the same will happen to you. If you would like some help picking out your 3 things, just let me know. I am happy to jump in and help you out with that, whether you want to hop on a call or we can just kind of chat about it. Yeah, but first, before we get into your top 3, I have some bonus homework for you guys. So as you know, this is my first time doing this program. So you guys are my guinea pigs. And there's one thing that I forgot to put in the workbook that will be in there next time, but it's not this time. So for you, I want you to find some white space in there. And what you're going to do is write the word why 5 times. So let me back up a little bit. Today, we want to get specific about what you want to change in your nutrition, right? Really, the only way to be successful with any goal is to get really, really, really specific about what you want to do. And the only way to get specific about what you want to do is to start with why you're doing it, right? So we need to get this why piece figured out first. So the 5 whys is a trick that we learned in nutrition coach school, if you want to call it that. But the idea is really simple. You ask why you want to make these changes, and then whatever the client says, you ask why again, and you say it 5 times. So you can do this with yourself. And if you get stuck, like if you say something that it would be weird to say why to, there are a couple other ways you can phrase it. You can say, well, why is that a concern to you? Or you could say, what is an example? Okay. So let me give you a few examples of how you do this. So some of you have said that you want more energy. Okay. So that's your big why for doing this program. So if you said, I want more energy, and I said, why? Maybe you would say, I don't want to be cranky with my kids during the day. Like I'm tired, I'm cranky, I want more energy so I can be the kind of mom I want to be. There's why number 2. Why number 3, I'm not going to say, why do you not want to be cranky? Like, obviously, nobody wants to be cranky. But why specifically is this a problem for you? What do you not like about this? Well, when I'm cranky with my kids, I yell at them a lot. And then I feel bad, I feel guilty about that. Okay, why? Why number 4? Well, when I yell a lot, then I feel like a bad mom. And if I ask you why one more time, maybe you'll say, I remember my mom yelling at me when I was a kid, and I didn't want to be that way with my own kids. So you see how this whole concept, we started at, I want to have more energy, I want to change my diet, and we ended up at, I want to be a good mom. So there's this like deeper driver there. And it kind of touches too on fear of something. So fear of being a bad mom. And I promise, if this stuff sounds cliche to you, this is the stuff that motivates us. Okay. So if you have in your head, I want more energy, or I want to lose weight, or something like that, that's not going to be powerful enough to motivate you to make a change. It needs to get more specific, and it needs to get more personal. So that's why we're digging in here. Another example, we can use the weight loss example. So I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? I'm uncomfortable in my clothes. Why are you uncomfortable in your clothes? Why? Give me an example. It makes me want to hide, maybe, or I want to avoid activities because I feel uncomfortable. Why again? Or can you give me an example? Well, when we go to the beach, I tend to hang out on the shore and read a book, and I say that's what I want to do, but really it's that I don't want to be in my swimsuit in front of people. So I watch my kids from the side, and I end up missing out on playing with them. So why is that a problem? Well, I worry that I'm missing out on my kids' childhood, and I want them to remember me as a fun mom who plays in the water with them. So, kind of go wherever you want with it. But in the end, you want to find your way to a specific example that resonates with you. So the mom yelling, the mom on the beach with her kids, like find something like that. That when you think of what your why is, this specific scenario can pop into your head. Yeah, so find some space in your workbook, write why 5 times, try this out, see where you get with it. No one's going to see this but you. I'm not going to make you send this to me. So please be 100% honest with yourself. Go deep, get specific. Literally in our textbook, nutrition coaching textbook, it says in this part of the book, clients will often cry during this part of the meeting. So be prepared for that, because food is emotional, you guys. That's why we have to talk about this stuff. It just is. Things you're doing in your food life tend to show up in other areas of your life in a similar way. So when you find those patterns across the board, it's easier to untangle what's going on in your food life. Okay, so do your 5 whys, see what you come up with. Moving on, your top 3. There's a lot of numbers and lists. I'm really into numbers and lists, so you guys know, be prepared for that. But your top 3, this is very simple. You're looking at your assessment, you're finding the top 3 things that you want to work on first. Okay, so maybe you want to work on everything, but we need to pick a place to start. 3 specific things. Don't worry about doing it right, like picking a good thing or the right thing. Just pick something that's going to be meaningful to you, and don't overthink how general or how specific it should be either. Just pick something. So like my top 3 were caffeine. I need to cut back on my caffeine. I feel processed foods and stress eating. So that's what rose to the top for me. I was kind of surprised about how good I felt about the mindset stuff. So that was kind of good to see. But I have some work to do. So part 2 of your homework is to look for your blockers. So what is blocking you from making these changes in your life right now? Things like circumstances is probably the first one everyone will think of, and we will all scream in unison, pandemic, kids, right? So feel free to put pandemic and kids all over your page, totally legit. But then I want you to go beyond the circumstances and look for beliefs, thoughts, beliefs and thoughts. So beliefs are things that you think about yourself, your identity. So like, I'm just a bad cook, or I just love to bake. I'm not a planner. I'm an all or nothing person, right? These are examples of beliefs that you carry about yourself, and they have been building up over years, and you're very attached to them, right? Thought patterns, just things that you're thinking on repeat in your brain. I don't have enough time. I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. I'm too busy. It's too hard. It's too hard. I don't know where to start. Whatever is going through your brain that's blocking you, right? And then just look out for a lack of desire to change. It's okay if you don't want to change any of these things. Like I said in the beginning, they're not a problem until you decide they're a problem. So you decide what you want to change, and then you get behind that change, right? So if your brain is telling you, I can't imagine my life without this thing, you're going to have a very hard time changing it until you rework that thought. But you can't rework that thought until you identify that thought and you get honest with yourself that it's there. So that's all we're trying to do today. We're just trying to find the blockers. I'll give you a couple examples of mine. So one of mine was caffeine, right? Circumstances, pandemic, kids, get those out of the way. Coffee is comforting is a thought that I have a lot. I just want the comfort of a warm beverage in the morning. I've been getting up at 5 a.m. lately a lot, and I'm tired, and my morning is very long. So from 5 to noon, I can fit several cups of coffee in there, and I can still tell myself, well, it's still the morning. So coffee is for the morning. And then I have the belief, of course, that I just love coffee, and I am a coffee person. I'm a coffee drinker. And every meme on Facebook would back me up on this, that coffee is critically important to my life. So why wouldn't I drink as much of it as I possibly can? And that's the same, you know, with wine and chocolate and other stuff like that. You don't realize how much you're getting inundated with stuff online that's just reiterating these thoughts in your brain. Like, yes, I deserve it. It's who I am. It's important to my life. It is my greatest happiness. Yeah, so whether those thoughts or beliefs are true is irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter. They might be totally true, but they're still blocking me. So I still need to recognize them for what they are. Another example, my processed foods example, pandemic kids. Also for me specifically, my kids have food allergies and not even the same food allergies. So my son is allergic to wheat, eggs, dairy, peanuts, tree nuts, and then my daughter is allergic to all that stuff minus wheat plus ham randomly. So we have a lot going on in our house as far as who can eat what, and the result of that is a lot of grab a lot of chicken nuggets, a lot of pizza, a lot of just like, here you go, you eat this, you eat this. If I make a meal, it's for the adults. It's too much for me to think about making it edible for everyone in the house. So I have thought in my head that it's too hard to cook for kids, for a family with food allergy kids. But really, I know I could figure it out, right? I could sit down and map out dinners that work for us that I can customize for the kids. I could do all that work, but I have this thought blocking me. It's too hard. It is too hard. Other moms don't have to deal with this. Only I have to deal with this. That is unfair. It's too hard. It's too hard. And then there's also my belief about myself, which is that I'm a bad cook and I hate cooking, which is true. But again, true, totally justified, not helping, not going to get me anywhere. They're just going to keep blocking me over and over again and preventing me from finding the solution. So I've actually thought about hiring like a meal planning coach, which you'd think I'd be able to do for myself, right? But hiring someone just to like force me to do this, to like, you know, hold my hand, make me do this. But every time I think about that, my next thought is, I know exactly what they'd say. I know what I need to do. I just need to remove my blockers and know that it's going to be hard and still do it, right? So think about what your blockers are for each of your 3 things. What is keeping you stuck? Circumstances being the least important one, but the one that's probably going to come to mind first. Beliefs and thoughts being the most important. Thoughts being huge. Okay, so write as much as you possibly can. Just brain dump every single thought you have in this area that might be connected to what you're thinking or feeling about it. What else was I going to say? So I'm like having a hard time reading my notes here. It's just scribbler. So with these thoughts going through my brain, my specific examples I just told you about, I've been thinking about these things for so long that I have deep grooves in my brain with these thoughts going through them, right? And you probably have the same thing about the thoughts that are in your head. So you're not just going to be able to flip them over, turn them off, and go on with your life. That's what we're going to talk about next week. So this week is all about kind of identifying the obstacles and the barriers. And then next week, this is only a week long, tomorrow I'll be back to talk about solutions. Okay, so we're going to talk about some new thoughts we can practice thinking, not new thoughts that we can immediately start thinking, new thoughts we can practice, and solutions. Okay, so I will see you there. Let me know if you have any questions on today's homework, and have a great day. Bye for now.